should definitely be talking about the fact that Prince was more of a diva than Kim Kardashian, and that is
Okay,
saying something.
okay, I forgot about this. And the reason it's important is because I was in Minnesota, whenever the hell that was, last week before last. All right.
Oh yeah, you're stuck there. I forgot.
Yeah, stuck there 2 days.
As much as you love Prince, I'm amazed you didn't like walk through the snow to his estate.
No, it's way out there. I asked the Uber
I'm
driver lady.
surprised you didn't keep going.
It was a little bit colder than I'm used to, and I'm used to. It was like 15
But you
below.
love Prince.
I do love Prince, and I had forgotten about the whole he didn't want to be associated with Kim Kardashian thing.
Yeah.
This is 2 shows in a row the Kardashians have come up, but
you brought him up the first time.
But okay, so how do I say this in a way that's also family friendly? Prince was a highly accomplished heterosexual. And even he didn't like Kim Kardashian. That kind of says something about her.
I don't even know what you mean by highly accomplished heterosexual.
He has some impressive numbers. He put a lot in the win column. He played a lot. Never married that I'm aware of.
Yes, he was married and he had a child that died. We've talked about this.
Bullshit.
Are you okay? Do you smell toast?
No. Prince married?
Yes, he was married. He had a child that died in infancy. Yes, he was married.
To who, like Apollonia?
Gosh. No. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all, this is Ryan.
I'm Robyn, and Ryan is...
We are chasing rabbits.
Confused.
I guess I am. I had forgotten some of the stuff.
We've talked about this.
I know.
We were in the car on the way back from the mountains, listening to Prince.
Yeah, I forgot it.
Oh my! It's living in a hotel for so long, you're not getting good sleep.
Yeah. I've got probably another month of it too before, hopefully, a month of some change actually before.
In the wise words of my child or children, because I think they both say it sucks to suck.
Hey,
have you thought about moving hotels? Because I feel like you have a lot of fire alarms at that hotel and a lot of weed smoking. Not in your room.
So, yeah. For those that don't know, this is the second month in a row that I had to evacuate a hotel because of the smoke detector
several times, right?
Fire alarm going off. It went off the other day, about a week ago, but it was different. It was like a smoke detector. It wasn't the big fire alarm. It was just a smoke detector, right?
Yeah.
Which is different. This was the hotel-wide, loud. You can hear it from across the street.
But you're in Michigan. You have to go outside, right?
Well, everybody went down to the lobby. We weren't going to the outside unless it was absolutely necessary. And you could kind of feel after a minute that this was probably a screw up because the employee was running around. There's only one employee here, which is common in hotels. And the fire department came and he said it was something to do with the water lines, the sprinkler system, and the water lines in the sprinkler system. They may have frozen or some problem.
Oh yeah, play a sensor or something. That makes sense.
Yeah. So
okay, maybe you don't need to change hotels. That can happen anywhere.
I'm just sick to death of hotels.
Sorry.
It sounds glamorous and awesome when you stay in hotels.
It does not sound glamorous.
No.
Maybe if you were staying at the Ritz-Carlton.
If I were staying in like the Plaza in New York or something, badass or something over the Chicago Hilton over in Chicago on Michigan Avenue is pretty badass, but I could live in that thing for a while. But yeah, I'm in a Homewood Suites now, which is not a bad. It's in the Hilton family. It's just.
It's like the stepbrother. No offense to any stepbrothers listening, but
it is, and it's like, you just get tired of it looking at the same. So anyway.
So what's new? What do you want to talk about? What's going on in the world?
I'm selling cocaine and cocaine accessories.
Okay, there's been a lot of cocaine busts. So I don't know if you heard, but in kind of close to you in Cincinnati, there was a package on my birthday that was intercepted on its way to, I think, Shanghai. I'm sorry, Hong Kong. 44 pounds of cocaine-coated frosted flakes.
Wow.
I know, right? I was like, I wonder if they really looked like Frosted Flakes or if they opened them up and they were fishy. Like,
that seems like a lot of trouble.
Oh no, I think that they do worse things and weirder things, but yeah, 44 pounds and also Frosted Flakes are like air. So 44 pounds must have been like a couple of pellets of Frosted Flakes.
Well, yeah, because it took it would have taken, how much is a box of cereal weigh? Even the family size one,
I feel like
right?
Frosted Flakes are probably like 3 ounces, but they're probably
It
like
take
14,
a
18
lot of
ounces.
Frosted Flakes to make a kilo of cocaine.
But yeah, 44 pounds of Frosted Flakes were intercepted. So somebody is crying into their Wheaties right now because they did not get what they wanted. But yeah, and then there was another, I think in Germany yesterday that was intercepted, but it was several tons. Let me see if I can find it.
Tony the Tiger was not feeling great, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but no, in Germany, they intercepted 23 tons of pure cocaine, which I think they've said would be in the billions of dollars, but I don't know if they've even been able to say how many billions.
I'd have to
But
ask my law enforcement buddies, but has cocaine made a resurgence in popularity or?
I don't know. I wonder if it's because El Chapo's wife got arrested and
Okay,
now
I,
there's
I
like,
do want to get to that because I consulted the legal wing of Exit the Echo Chamber today about
yeah.
that very thing. But it seems like a lot. Okay, so if you said Cincinnati, I mean, cocaine is typically made in Central South America, right? We
So
accept
it
that.
was on its way from Florida to Cincinnati to Hong Kong.
That's a long damn way to. That's going around your elbow to get your ass, as some people would say.
Well, I don't know how I don't know how stuff works, but I think it was actually USPS.
Probably. I'm given to understand that more than just a little bit of stuff gets shipped through the mail. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. But
Because
yeah, and then the Germany haul, and then El Chapo's wife got arrested this week in DC. I guess she holds dual citizenship.
okay,
Citizenship.
let's talk about that. I don't know if you're familiar
Learn me.
with Dulles International Airport. And
I
for those that
am
don't,
indeed.
okay, so you know, right outside. For those that don't know, it's right outside of Washington D.C. And every major international airport in the world that has any business coming into or out of DC flies in and out of there, right? They're also very close to about 50 major federal agencies in the alphabet soup. If you're going to screw up and be a fugitive from justice anywhere in the world, that ain't the place.
She wasn't a fugitive though, right? Like
But
she was a
when
US
you're
citizen.
when
She has dual
you're
citizenship.
when you're married to El Chapo,
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you there,
you,
but there
you
wasn't there
take
wasn't
the
an
bus.
arrest warrant out.
Was there
Was there?
not?
I
I
don't
don't
think there
know.
was. I
Uh,
didn't think there was until they arrested her.
I
But
saw
I
it
don't
on the
think it was like she
news
was hiding.
and then I looked it up online and all that, and I don't know if there was a warrant out or if whatever, but damn, that's a high profile airport to be going in and out of for somebody in that situation.
I guess if you're worth probably billions, even if it's not legit, I guess you feel like you can fly wherever you want
I guess so,
until you can't.
but who knows?
But
I don't know the situation or the circumstances around her being. She's been in trouble before. She's been in the federal court up in New York. I know that,
well, she was
but
there when he was on trial. I know she
right,
was there then, but has she actually been in trouble?
no. So I don't know if this is her first arrest, but she's not that old either. She's only like 31.
Yeah, she's definitely younger than him. So
Yep, by a good bit.
I don't know if that has anything to do with
I also don't
Frosted
know if she
Flakes
has any.
or.
I don't know if there's any value to arresting her. Like, is she?
Oh, I think they arrested her because they said she was carrying on, that she was complicit or part of his escape in
I'm
what,
sure that's true. Yeah,
2015,
there's that. Right.
and B, that she was carrying on his empire, like she was
Well, that makes
doing
sense
the
then
business part.
if she's
So
trying to run things and all that kind of stuff from behind the scenes or whatever it is. But God,
yeah,
if you're doing some stuff like being, the new godmother of the cocaine empire, the drug empire of Mexico, or whatever, the Sinaloa cartel or whatever, fly into smaller airports and use Southwest Airlines. You don't fly into Dulles.
or do private planes.
Yeah, thank
Like I
you.
wanted to tell Ted last week, charter planes.
Yeah, yeah. It's surprising how much, like, I've seen
Stupidity
pictures.
there is.
Do what?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I said how much stupidity there is.
Well, there's that. But I'm saying how often, I mean, if you stood in certain airports, you're liable to see a lot of Congress and senator folk walking around. I mean, you just do that. A lot of them don't fly private, and you would think they would just
Right.
for whatever reason, but they don't. Most of them fly commercial. I mean, flying
Well,
first class. I doubt they're flying. They don't have a C
They're
ticket on
definitely
Southwest.
not in like Group C boarding Southwest.
No, they are not.
No. So that's the cocaine El Chapo story. I got nothing
Cocaine,
except, yeah, I got nothing more on that.
cocaine, and cocaine accessories. It just seems like a lot of work to get the Tony the Tiger, Hong Kong.
I
But
was impressed. Like, I wanted to know the science behind, and the articles I read didn't really tell the science because they probably don't want to give a how-to a bunch of, I don't know, Breaking Bad people who
I know
might
it's
get
getting where
ideas.
you
But
can't get good drug ideas anymore since Miami Vice went off the air. You just,
did you not see Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I kind of did.
What was his name? Why am I going blank? Walt.
Walter White.
Yeah.
Did you see? Okay, did you listen to the podcast I sent you the other day about that one?
I actually started to on my lunch
Right.
break, but then I got busy, so I need to finish it.
Basically it was a brief history of methamphetamine manufacturing in Texas from the late 70s till now, and how now there's almost all of it is brought in from Mexico with super labs like that was on Breaking Bad. It was like almost with like 99% purity.
Oh, sorry, that probably hurt. I just hit my microphone. Yeah, it's not backwoods hillbillies. It's science.
No, it was in the beginning. Now it's super labs, and they can get the chemicals that we can't get because they're getting it straight from China with no restrictions.
Well, and my understanding too is that as pot is being legalized in so many states, whether medicinal or recreational, then it's pushing cartels and bad people to look at other things. So
New Jersey just went recreational just like this week.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. I knew that New York was making noises about going recreational.
Yeah, New York.
Speaking of New York, I know you want to talk about something to do with New York, and then that's going to make me go to something else. So
about their governor, Cuomo.
Yeah. Here's the difference, I think, between, and correct me if I'm wrong, but between liberals and conservatives.
Oh, please, here we go.
When our politicians or people on quote unquote our side,
you're talking about on the left,
yeah, when they fuck up, we'll call them on it.
No,
and
absolutely not.
I don't know anybody who's defending Cuomo right now except maybe his brother.
Not Cuomo, but historically speaking.
Well, and I don't bring up the Clintons, please, God.
No. I wasn't even going back that far. I wasn't even going back that far. And I maintain.
But I'm saying, like, if you think about Al Franken took naughty pictures that weren't even inappropriate in the age that they were taken in. They were just goofy, like comedian from an SNL skit pictures.
Right.
But he got thrown to the wolves by the rest of the Democrats. I mean, like, just when Democrats mess up, other Democrats are much more willing to say, "Oh, you messed up," and hold you accountable. Like Andrew Cuomo, everybody I know is like, hold him accountable.
Disagree.
They're not circling the wagons around him.
They're not circling the wagons around him. I think it's because he's made a lot of enemies, but historically, Republicans have been way harder on throwing our own underneath the bus for the slightest infraction. Case in point, the person against whom Barack Hussein Obama was running for
Jesus Christ, why do you have to say Hussein? You do that and it's like such,
that's his name. I know,
but you do that for a reason.
Okay, so the person against whom Barack Obama was running for that Senate seat had that sex scandal, right? And Republicans being Republicans,
person?
I forgot his name. I honestly don't know his name. He just kind of faded off into obscurity.
The guy with hair.
I don't remember, swear to God. The Republican had a sex scandal, got thrown under the bus, right? Then
so that was 2007. Can you think of anyone more recent?
That's an example that's coming to the top of my head. Give me a minute. No, and I'll tell you why I can't think of a more recent example. Give me a second. Obama gets that Senate seat. He's there for 6 months, and then he's running for president, right? Okay, from that, and several talk show hosts and Rush Limbaugh, rest in peace, and quite a few other people said, he said this on the air, we have to stop throwing our own under the bus for every minor infraction because nobody's perfect, right? I mean, it used to be to run for dog catcher, you had to be at least publicly pure as the wind-driven snow. Except that nobody's pure as the wind-driven snow. So along comes Trump, who had 4 divorces and however many scandals and all that, and everybody was like, oh yeah, okay. And I honestly believe that there was a turn somewhere along between Obama getting to run for president. Not that it was his fault. It was the other guy that screwed up's fault. Somewhere in through there was a corner that was turned, at least in the rank and file of the Republican Party, where we realized, wait a minute, we can't throw everybody under the bus that's had been through a divorce or, had got in trouble for something or whatever. Now, if you kill your secretary, in the river, that's one thing, but minor infractions. So when Trump comes along and everybody, all of a sudden, everybody on the left is screaming about, he's been through these scandals and all that. A lot of people that I know that are extreme right-wing, arch conservative people, church going, whatever else, didn't care anymore that Trump had however many divorces he's been through
and how many scandals and prostitutes and bankruptcies and mob. Yeah, like that man could have shot somebody on Fifth Avenue.
And you said don't bring up the Clintons, but had Clinton ever been held to account for anything, then we wouldn't have had a leg to stand on. And I'm sorry, but when you have people like the Kennedys and going far back into there, that getting away with all kinds of shenanigans, and your folks in DC.
So who's the last Republican who got his feet held to the fire for bad behavior? Was that 2007?
Let me think about that a minute. We're talking about governors. Oh, now you're putting me on the spot to remember somebody.
You've got a wicked memory. It's funny that you can't think of anything.
Give me a minute. I got a wicked memory, please. You're giving me way too much credit.
No, I remember a movie line from 1979.
That's movie lines.
Think of a Republican after 2007.
You hush your mouth, madam. Remembering movie lines is not the same thing.
So yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think I made my point. So Cuomo is an attention whore, and he deserves to be
what I think
held
has
to
done
account.
him in. That's part of what I think has done him in more than anything. Him being on television this time last year, or whenever it was, March, April, May of last year, every single freaking day, talking about we need more respirators, and he was pulling
Matilda's Law or whatever he did. I mean, and so that's the thing, is that's not even a partisan thing. I mean, his brother may not want him to be held to account because he's his brother, but by and large, people want him to be held responsible if he did wrong.
Well, and here's what I think happened. This is a theory of mine. When he's sitting there pulling the respirators out of hospitals up in Syracuse and Buffalo and upstate New York and all that, and sending them to New York City, you're making enemies, that you're not making friends and influencing people. So I didn't know this until the other day, actually, and credit where credit is due, the Obama administration was investigating him for something else, and I don't remember what it was. But he was under federal investigation at one point for running afoul of something. Now, to what extent they actually investigated, I don't know, but there was paperwork filed. So now he gets through all this, and he's ran afoul. And I heard there's a not sex abuse, sexual harassment allegation made now. There he kissed some girl or some such as that. They're going after him for some reason. What the real reason is, I don't know. But
I think the real reason is that he mishandled COVID.
He's getting torpedoed.
Lives.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
They may just be tired of him and tired of his ways and trying to get rid of him.
He did wrong, and he needs to be held accountable.
I bet there's more to it.
There might be, but sometimes people do the right thing to do the right thing. And if that means getting justice for something that's done wrong, then it happens. So Cuomo brings me to the next thing. Mm-hmm. I'm so big on media bias, and bias doesn't mean lies, by the way. Bias is just the slant with which you look at things.
Yeah, you got to be kind of clear on that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean lies. It doesn't mean that everything on Fox News is a lie or everything on MSNBC is a lie. It's just what it's filtered through, the lens that it's filtered through, and the slant that it's given, even the words that are used. But it was interesting because when we were talking about this earlier about what we were going to talk about, I was looking at media bias and I pulled up 5 different things. And it was really funny to see MSNBC had not one thing on Cuomo on their main page. They had things about Senate hearings, about Merrick Garland's hearing, about student debt relief, about the postmaster controversy with Trump's pick as postmaster and how they can't get rid of him, and Biden's overpromising on immigration. That was MSNBC. Fox News on their main page had 6 articles on Cuomo, different articles on Cuomo. Cuomo, Tiger Obama, and Obama I'm sorry, Tiger Woods and Obama not seeking reparations during his terms. That was Fox News.
Okay.
Reuters was CIA nominee, COVID, Biden meeting with the Saudi king, and Supreme Court rulings. And then OANN, is that how you say it? I don't even know.
I don't know.
One America. They had wokeness at Smith College, Obama and reparations, Tiger Woods, a one-on-one with Ben Carson, and the growing extremism in media. So I just thought it was interesting because I looked at every one of their main pages and I was like, it really depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at MSNBC, you don't know anything about what's going on with Cuomo. If you're looking at Fox, you don't know that there's anything besides Cuomo going on.
It's interesting MSNBC is not covering that because he's so high profile. And I mean, it's primarily by and large Democrats leading the charge against him. It's
because
there's
some
Republicans in there, I'm sure.
People.
But,
but it was really fascinating to me to look at each of the main pages. And I looked at several others. I looked at Reuters, NPR, like I looked at several, but I tried to pick the ones that I know that most people that listen to us might look at. And it was just really, I don't know, fascinating to me because it told me they're guiding what we want to be enraged about.
It's funny you mentioned NPR because lately I've listened to an inordinate amount of NPR. I drive a lot during the day to go see landowners, and I'm out in areas. And
NPR
there's like
instead of Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan's not on the radio. I'm listening to the radio.
Oh, sorry.
I could be listening. I guess I could be listening to Joe Rogan on my phone, but if I got the radio going, and there's like 4 public radio stations or whatever, and the country music stations here leave a little bit to be desired.
So you've been listening to NPR.
So NPR is on like every 4th channel. It's like, I'm not kidding. There's like 4 public radio stations within listening of where I'm sitting right now. So just as a seeing what the people are listening to or whatever, I've been hearing a lot of NPR. So it's kind of there was they were talking about a Supreme Court decision today that the Supreme Court was looking at on a cop that followed a guy into his house. Like, this is in California. This is today. Cop was trying to pull a guy over. The guy said he didn't see the lights. Guy pulls into his garage, hit the garage door. Cop sticks his foot underneath the closing garage door. The garage door goes back up. Follows the guy in. Realizes the guy had been drinking. Arrest him for DWI and all that. Now, where the whole crux of the case is him sticking his foot underneath the door, and both sides, liberals and the Sotomayor's and the people that Trump have put in there, are. Everybody's conflicted on it because both of them, because there was quotes from both sides going, they could see both ways. It was both sides are right and both sides are wrong here. So it's going to be interesting to watch that because that has to do with not having a warrant and reasons you can go into a house.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It's huge. It could be huge. So
it's much bigger than just some stupid guy's DUI.
Yeah, this isn't right. This is way bigger than some guy, driving drunk. If he was driving drunk, allegedly driving drunk.
Yeah. Wow.
It had to, so, and it was.
I hadn't paid attention to that one, but I have the utmost respect, even if I disagree with some of their decisions. I have the utmost respect for how they come to them. And I love when they actually write about them so that they can help us to understand how they are interpreting a living constitution.
Right. No, they were definitely both, pick a Supreme Court justice. They were, and I'm blanking on the one's name that they played on the radio. Might have been Gorsuch, I don't remember. Saying that he was right up to a certain point, but then he was wrong for this, but he could also see the other side. And I think Sotomayor was having issues with it. It was because she's, believe it or not, Legal Wing has told me, Lee Davis, shout out, told me that Sotomayor was huge on Fourth Amendment rights before she was ever on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So, and this does get into Fourth Amendment stuff. So
absolutely. And that's scary stuff that we all want to be careful with. So
right.
Even if we're not driving drunk.
We're not driving drunk. Don't be driving drunk. That's first off, don't be driving drunk. But second, don't be a cop trying to go into the house unless you got a warrant.
You said he put his foot under the door, and I thought, I need to check on my sensor because if he did that on my door, he might get his
Your
foot
door wouldn't
squished.
work. I know for a fact it wouldn't work on yours. You've got
The
the really
sensor is
old school kind.
that's at the top,
Okay, yours is
right?
from like the Raiders of the Lost
I
Ark. Where if
know,
that
I know. The
garage door
sensor's at
closes
the
on you,
top.
yes, it's gonna kill you.
And I've been fine with that because I don't have small children. But yeah, if somebody stuck their foot under there, sorry.
They're gonna lose that foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what my liability is for on my
You've got an old
policy.
school garage door that kills small children.
Luckily, I don't have small children, so
That's awesome. But yeah, that was my foray into NPR today. So,
interesting.
but you're right. Yeah, the different media outlets, they may not be lying. They may very well be telling
No, and
they may very
they
well be
may
telling the
be
truth.
lying, and that goes all directions. I think you and I can agree on that. It's what's meant to get us all riled up and
Get you pissed off.
Yeah, because then we keep tuning in. But it's just like if somebody starts talking to me, and I know I'm probably going to piss people off, but if they start talking to me about how important it is to pay attention to transgender people taking over our sports, I'm like, Jesus, you've been listening to way too much Fox News. Like, it's
Rogan talks about that a lot, though.
Huh?
Rogan does talk about
yeah, but you won't see that on any other
women's sports.
But you won't see that on MSNBC. You won't see it on NPR. You won't see it on CNN. You won't see it in the New York Times. It's interesting to me. Sometimes when people start talking to me about stuff, I can tell where they've been getting their news by what they're enraged about.
Yeah. And I think Rogan talks about it quite a bit because he's heavy into the fighting sports, and, a biologically born man, 30 years old, deciding he's all of a sudden a woman trying to fight a woman. There's no amount of testosterone in the world that she could ever take to match his. It's just not going to happen.
But that's also not happening in high school sports. Like, it's getting people enraged about.
It is happening in college. I did see the one guy out in California joined a female junior college basketball team. Dude was a giant.
Was he just making a point, like the guys who try to join Hooters, who try to get?
That one, I don't know. No,
was he just trying to make a point?
This guy was a monster, and these girls looked like
I saw that. I thought it was a joke. Was he trying to make a point? Like, literally, like the guys trying to get hired at Hooters so they could then sue Hooters?
Is that a thing?
That was the thing. Like in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were guys who were trying to get jobs at Hooters. So when they didn't get hired as servers, they could then sue Hooters. Like, it was very, yeah.
They fit in the uniform?
So was that, God, I don't want to think about that. I'm sorry, Mom, that I'm cursing, and I just took the Lord's name in vain like twice.
We talking about dudes wearing Hooters outfits. Nobody wants to see that.
Sorry. Yeah. So there's your bias. But
you're not wrong. I definitely agree with you that there is media.
Oh my God,
bias.
something we can agree on. Look at us.
There is bias in the media, like
all of it.
All of it. And another thing too, what annoyed me the other day. Okay, so Tiger Woods in the news, huge. Unfortunately, I mean, he lived. That's good. That's awesome. But unfortunately, he might be messed up.
Yeah, he has pens and plates and rods. Yes. Yeah.
So he had another crash several years ago, however long ago.
He's had a couple of.
It's well established that the one that was on the HBO, they did the HBO documentary they did about him. That one was recorded by the cop that pulled him over, and he realized it was Tiger Woods. He called the supervisor. Tiger Woods.
You hear that cop, you're like, oh, I do not want to do.
Yeah.
This.
Oh my God. Yeah. So please
that
don't.
Cop was
no, not the Tiger Woods. No. Anyway, because the paperwork would be staggering on that. Anyway, Tiger was obviously impaired at that one because he had just had a surgery, and it wasn't alcohol, it was painkillers. And so immediately when this one happened, everybody jumped to, and all the media was asking the chief of police yesterday, was there alcohol present?
Well, but he had also had a near miss on a movie set or
but they didn't know that at the time. That's come out since then. This was yesterday. Have the investigators found alcohol, whatever? And the chief of police said this until he was blue in the face. Look, we have to do an investigation. We don't know if they didn't take blood from him at the scene. They didn't do all this other stuff. We don't know. And then they would ask the same question a different way. It was, oh, well, was there any indication of alcohol?
I will say in that area, though, they have some really bad stretches. And I think that area has had numerous accidents around that. Like the speed limit goes down very fast. And if people don't go down, they go over the edge. And so he's not the first person to do that. He's just the most famous person to do that.
Right. Well, I saw they were pulling his vehicle out with a crane today, or from what I saw. And it was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So wishing him the best, but definitely the media was on my nerves just with the single question they were asking 50 different ways. It wasn't.
I guess I saw that they were kind of obligated to ask that given his past, I think. They probably didn't have to ask it 50 different ways, but if each of them asks it once, then yeah, it gets old. But who knows? I'm sure it'll come out, and best of luck to him. But I'm thinking maybe some people just aren't meant to drive. Like maybe he drives when he's on the course.
He was sponsored by Buick.
Isn't that a golf? Isn't that a golf term?
What's that?
You could drive. You drive. I don't know.
I was
trying to do a double entendre there, but I don't know golf.
he should drive on the course. So
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like he should do whatever he does on the course, but maybe he should have a driver. Yeah. Maybe he should have a driver. Yeah. Just a thought.
Not being a golfer.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm actually being honest. Some people are not meant to drive, and that's okay.
You do know he was sponsored by Buick at one point, though, right? I mean,
so maybe he has his driver.
Maybe he should have.
And Buick is no more, right? Didn't Buick?
I think you're correct.
Yeah. So maybe. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else because it teeters on the edge of being disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I hope he gets better.
I do too, definitely. I want to see him playing golf.
He's got young kids. He's got family that loves him. So I hope he gets better.
People that aren't even golf fans will watch golf if Tiger Woods is playing. So
I've never watched golf.
I don't watch it either, unless I know for a fact he's playing.
I still don't watch
Although I did admit he won the Masters, I guess it was last year before, and I didn't get to see it. It was like everybody was super emotional, and Tiger was back, and I missed it.
Yeah, me too.
So it was a sporting event on television, so odds are I missed it. But speaking of sport, I missed my sporting event.
One more thing we can agree on.
We do agree on some stuff. I missed my sporting event this evening. I was going to go try out a new run club here locally, and the message that I got on the Facebook Messenger said 6:30. It was actually 6:30 is their summer hours. It was actually 6. The person sent me the wrong time.
They wanted you to run really fast.
No.
It was a test.
No.
It was a test.
Okay.
How fast can this Texan run?
I'm trained up a little bit better than I am. I'm okay. But I'm not at the top of my game right now, so missed my sporting event this evening. I ran last night or yesterday, so it's okay. So I'll run tomorrow and then run.
And you can go Saturday or Wednesday or whenever they meet next.
Yeah. Been nice here though. It's like in the 40s. Like it got up to 40 degrees today.
We're supposed to get, depending on who you believe, and depending on the bias, we're supposed to get between 3 inches and a foot of snow.
That's some serious media bias. It's either 3 inches or a foot.
Okay. Now. And let me tell you from that what I know, right? That's a lot of difference.
A lot of bias right there.
So the snow has just melted on the lake that is my front yard from that water line break. They found debris when they dug 7 feet deep. That big hole. The snow is melted, and there's debris that every morning I wake up and a little more snow is melted, and I'm like, where'd that come from? They must have just been chunking it out, and then the snow covered it.
When Davy Crockett came through or something?
There's like landscaping ties and a big barrel and pieces of metal that I'm like, I don't know what those are, but I probably need gloves to touch them. Like, it looks like an airplane dropped some pieces in my yard. So, which
is getting to be more and more common these days. That's like it happened in Colorado. It happens Germany, and then in New Mexico. Well, in New Mexico, an American Airlines pilot swears, and there's pictures.
Oh, the UFO.
And I'm like, yeah, if you're going to see a UFO anywhere, it's going to be New Mexico. That's going to happen.
What part of New Mexico are you in?
Yeah. Where are you flying over?
Oh, okay. New Mexico, next to Texas.
Sure. Next to Colorado.
Did you see that 5 ERCOT executives resigned?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye. I'll take that job, and I'll do it for less than they're making. So,
Would you do it better?
Hell yeah, I can do it better. First off,
I
I'll move to Texas.
I also read that they were literally like 4 minutes and some odd seconds away from being like such a catastrophic incident with the grid that they would have been shut down for weeks, if not months.
Probably.
Which is absolutely insane to me that something could be so close to disaster.
Somebody I've talked to in energy before, way before this is a long time ago, was talking about, and we were looking at a coal-fired plant. We were fishing in the lake that was next to a coal-fired plant near College Station, Texas, Gibbons Creek, if you're familiar with the area. And he told me that in the heat of the summer, and this is in Texas during normal 100-degree days or whatever else, which happens every single year, they're normally operating statewide really close to 100% anyway. I mean, really right on the edge. Do what?
But they expect that, right?
Yes. So, but keeping that in mind, which means you can't afford to have if you're operating, everything's operating at 100%, you can't afford to have anything. There's no room, there's no wiggle room in there. There's no room for error.
Right.
So if one of the factors that, solar, wind, natural gas, coal, whatever it is, nuclear, whatever it is, goes down, then you're screwed. So they're going to have to come up to, and hell yeah, I could do it better. I know what I'm talking about. I say it. I have the Google, and I can live in Texas and do it for $100,000 a year less than the last guy was making. So how's that? I'll saving you money right there. If I don't know the answer, my uncle does.
Well, they had the perfect storm of, they've had 3 coal plants.
Yes.
Or closed down since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
They've had the turbines freeze, and they had the debacle with natural gas. So yeah, that was the perfect storm for Texas.
So needs to be some ass chewing going on.
And I feel sorry for all the plumbers and the people with water damage, and just a
if you're just regular John Q homeowner and all of a sudden your entire house is just water destroyed now, sucks.
Yeah.
So, and I will never accept a house that has a water heater built into the attic. That's just no.
Well, in Texas also, and I don't know any other state that does this, and if somebody wants to correct me,
go ahead.
I don't know any other state that puts their plumbing into the concrete on new builds. I only know.
I didn't know other people didn't do that. I've seen that a lot during construction.
No, only Texas that I know of.
Really?
And with the industry I work in.
Yeah, you're kind of in real estate a little bit. So what?
Well, yeah, I'm in that part of it, and I've never seen anywhere but Texas. And I wonder if
that's fascinating.
Yeah. So.
I'm not being funny. I did not know that other places didn't do that. So that's
absolutely not.
Where do they put it?
In the ground.
Yeah, but it's got to get into the house. It's got to come in. How does it get into the house then? It's got to come to the foundation at some point.
It can come through, but it's not laid into the foundation like it is in Texas.
That's interesting.
Like there's a difference between coming through and being laid in.
We need to talk to somebody in construction.
My uncle has been a plumber for decades. He'd probably know the answer to this.
We need to talk to somebody that knows more about this than we do then.
Because I'm probably like way off on this.
I'm probably way off on this too. Yeah. I do know that I've seen watching construction being built. They put obviously they pipe in certain things up through the foundation.
Well, I mean, they have to, obviously.
Right. But to answer the question, I don't know. Yeah, we need to talk to your uncle or somebody, because I ain't know. To use correct grammar.
Anything else that you are dying to talk about? Politics?
El Chapo. Don't fly into Dulles Airport. Do what?
I'm just kidding. Cocaine. We talk about cocaine a lot.
We do.
Hippos, cocaine frosted flakes.
Yes. I don't know if I ever told you about the time. It was after I had seen. I'm blanking on the name. Bachelor. What's the movie about the bachelor's party and
I have no idea where you're going with
Zach Galifianakis is in it and
Hangover.
Hangover. Thank you. Okay, so one of the hangovers, I think it was Hangover 3. It was Mr. Chow was in it, and he escapes from prison.
Chow.
And yeah, Mr. Chow's awesome. He's flying over. I'd just been to see this, and he jumps off the top of like Caesar's Palace with a hang glider. He's gliding over Vegas. He's going, I love cocaine. Well, I've never, to be clear, I have never once in my life ever even tried cocaine or anything else. I'll drink the shit out of beer, but I don't do illicit
You
drugs.
thought those Frosted Flakes gave you some energy.
Yeah, I'm curious about Frosted Flakes now. But anyway, I was quoting that movie in front of some people who at the time happened to have been my in-laws, and they didn't know I was quoting a movie.
They probably still hold that against you, like decades later. And
Yeah, well,
they
it wouldn't
probably
be that.
still
Yeah.
bring that up and hold that
So
against
yeah,
you.
I was like, and there were a couple of other quotes in there about along
You
those
don't
lines.
quote The Hangover to
I
your
love
in-laws.
cocaine and some other stuff were in that movie, and I was like, yeah, we had just literally been to see the movie, and it was. I think the Hangover movies are hilarious. The second one wasn't as
Oh,
good, but
I don't think I've seen the third one.
third
So
one is set in Vegas.
I'd watch it.
They wind up back in Vegas, and yeah, it's not, none of them are as good as the first one, but
Oh, how could they be?
but
Tigers and yeah.
Bradley Cooper, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's in the second one too, and they're in Thailand.
Okay, so next time we do not talk about cocaine, unless we're going to talk about something deep like decriminalization of controlled substances or something like that.
Yeah, because
Or if they figure out how to put it in like Splenda packets,
we're gonna trigger some, DEA something algorithm that picks up our something, and we're gonna be under investigation. So I won't be able to mail a letter to my mom without some kind of.
It's
inspection.
just like I saw a meme the other day that was talking about like the gods of the internet or like the, I don't know, people who police the internet are like, should we pay attention to this woman? She's looking up how to bury a body, how bodies decompose, what to do with a knife.
Right.
No, she's also looking up sentence structure and pronoun usage, and now she's a writer.
That's true. That's true. My Google search, especially when I'm writing anything, my Google search will consist entirely of the proper spelling of words. I'll just start spelling something the best way I know how and wait for Google to catch on. So yeah, I can.
Oh, my search would alarm people, but
yeah. Well, you also listen to a lot of murder podcasts too. So
I do, and sometimes I'm like, huh, and I have to look it up, and then I'm like, oh, if anybody's looking at this, they're probably worried about me. I should probably get DuckDuckGo.
We've had some. Okay, get DuckDuckGo. We've had some good conversations though about the murder podcast. So,
yeah, that's another hour of talking. But I gotta go eat. I am starving.
Well, okay.
Starving.
I had the meal of dudes everywhere this evening. Rotisserie chicken.
Chili?
No, hell no, gross. Texas, I'm not eating Hormel chili. I had a rotisserie chicken and a chunk of cheese. So I did get a salad though. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But
I'm having the single middle-aged women's dinner.
What is that?
I got a box from Misfit Markets. Okay. Have you seen that advertised? They advertise all.
I've seen the advertisements.
Like a box full of vegetables. So
is it like Blue Apron sort of?
No, it's like really cheap organic vegetables. But I'm sure that you're going to be so sad you're not here because I'm having roasted parsnips and beets.
I am sad I'm missing the beets. Yes.
Yeah, that's my dinner because Nate's at work. So, yay.
All right.
But I am starving.
All right. Well, I'll let you off the hook then. And then.
As usual.
I mean, I guess Robyn is correct.
Ryan is right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.